Okay. So hi guys, I'm Mika. Nice to meet. Oh, okay. Yeah. so I'm gonna start. So there was a time where I was in a relationship with my where I so my relationship with my dad is very weird and very like up and downy, but so far it's been good lately. So looking back, I've never really seen my dad cry, or I've never really seen him like like shed a tear or be sad in front of me, or like be or like just like show his emotion, But of course, he showed like other emotions, like when he was happy, or like I generally remember my dad with good memories or like fun memories. He never wants to like give any sad memories, and that was as a kid. Of course, like you're like, oh yeah, this is fun, blah 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 blah. But as you get older, you realize that that passes down to you. You know what I mean? You want to project that as well. So I wanted to talk about how like even God was able to cry in front of God on the flesh, Jesus even cried. So my question is, have you ever felt like unworthy to talk to God when things aren't going so well, or when things aren't like you've made bad decisions? So yeah, so the two questions that come into mind is: am I worthy, or do I feel safe to go to God about it? Because I couldn't even do it with my own dad. You know what I mean? Because I wanted to like show him the best in me. I wanted to show him like everything that I've accomplished. Instead of like going to him when I'm like, oh, I've had a rough day. So yeah, so I wanna lead us to John 11. I kind of read the whole thing where it's like, but I'm only going to choose bits and pieces. So John 11:33 to 35. When Jesus saw her weeping, oh wait, let me give some background, sorry. So there's this guy named Lazarus, and he has two sisters. Her name is Mary and Martha. So Lazarus was sick, and he was like a dear friend to Jesus. And Jesus really wanted to like see him, right? Well, he knew that Lazarus was gonna die. Spoiler if you guys haven't read the Bible. So yeah. Anyway, So in Jesus' head, he knew that Lazarus was gonna die, and that he is already dead before he even arrives. So when Jesus told the disciples that he was going to Lazarus, they thought that he was just sick, and that like Jesus was gonna go there to wake him from sickness. But little did they know that he was gonna revive them from death. Again, spoilers. I'm sorry. So, so yeah. So John 11 verse 33 to 35. When Jesus saw her weeping and saw the other woman wailing with her, a deep anger welled up within him, and he was deeply troubled. Where have you put him? He asked them. They told him, Lord, come see. And then Jesus wept. So reading this, my mindset really shifted, because like I growing up in a church, or like growing up as like a Christian, I tend to think that, oh, Jesus loves us. Has done all of this for us. He sacrificed his life for us. But we don't really feel the emotion where somebody is actually grieving with us. You know what I mean? So yeah, so going back to the story with my dad, even in his own mother's funeral, I didn't see him cry. I don't remember seeing him cry. So that just showed me like a different way, like, oh, I need to be strong with other people during grieving, for example. So yeah, so another verse I wanted to bring up, which comes after that, the people who were standing nearby said, see how much he loved him. So yeah, Lazarus was a deep friend, and people saw that. So the first point I want to bring in is, this shows me a different perspective on how God's love, going back to what I said with my dad's story. He cried in front of everybody. So, sorry, I lost my train of thought. So I feel like, okay, thank you. So that's the first point. It showed me a new perspective where it's like, oh, even God cried like for the people that he's with, even though he knew in his head that he's going to a better place. Like the reason why he wanted to resurrect Lazarus was because he wanted to show the people, like his disciples, that of what he can do, what God can do, and not because of how he can like bring him back to life. Not because he wants for him to live, but more of like, he wants to show people that, he's God. you know. So yeah. So the second thing I want to bring up is it's okay to cry in front of people. For me personally, I've up until I was in high school, I didn't really like to show my emotion. I always like hit it with like humor or like with like jokes, and that's not very healthy. If you guys know, it's not. So yeah, when I joined TC, it like really opened my eyes, and I was able to open up to so much people. But even until now, I still kind of struggle to cry with a lot of people. There's select few people like Ray Ray and Jay over there that I have cried in front of, and I've like. Why you laugh? So yeah, so going back, so if you're thinking about it, like there's so many times where I felt like I've made a mistake and I'm too ashamed to talk to people about it. But in when I read the story and I opened my mindset to it, it's like God was literally crying for them, like with them. You know what I mean? Where it's like, you know how like when my dad was like there with me, like I'm grieving, we're all grieving, but he's trying to act all tough, all strong. But in reality, what we really need is somebody there to grieve with us. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's it. Thank you so much.